The result of the Port Dickson parliamentary seat by-election is expected to be announced very soon. Now, earlier, thousands of registered voters made their way to the 32 polling centres in the constituency to choose their new representative. Now, apart from the PKR President-elect, Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim, 6 other candidates are also contesting in the by-election. Now, they are retired Lieutenant Colonel Muhammad Nazari Mokhtar from PAS, as well as independent candidates including former Negeri Sembilan Menteri Besar Tan Sri Isa Samad and Datuk Seri Anwar's former aide Muhammad Saiful Bukhari Azlan. Now, for live updates on the results, let's cross over to our reporter, Farah Nabilah Wazer, who is currently at the voting tallying centre at the PD Municipal Council Hall. Hi, Farah. Now, Farah, the PD by-election is seeing a 7-cornered fight, but in terms of significance, it's seen as Datuk Seri Anwar's ticket to return to active politics, plus the fact that he is touted as the next Prime Minister, placing him ahead of his other contenders. News is abuzz that he's leading at this moment. But then there's also Tan Sri Isa, a local PD boy and a former MB. Now, what are you hearing in terms of the mood and a prediction on the ground, and who are the people rooting for?
All right, thank you so much, Otto, in the studio. So before I answer your question, can I update the unofficial result for the Port Dickson by-election P132? So far, the information that I got from the website, it says that PKR candidate Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim is leading with 24,590 votes. And he is followed by PAS candidate Lieutenant Colonel Nazari Mokhtar with 6,502 and Tan Sri Isa Samad, who is also the independent candidate, with 3,520 votes. All right, to answer your question, Otto, a lot of people, a lot of voters that I spoke to during the campaigning period for the last few days said that they really want to see Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim wins the election. And although before this, Datuk Seri Anwar has stressed that his decision to contest in PD was not because he was in a hurry to become the Prime Minister, but to enable him to speak in the Parliament. And it is actually clear that those who voted for UMNO in GE14 are now uncertain, in an uncertain position now. Why? Because their choice is to either vote for former UMNO leader, which is Tan Sri Isa Samad, vote for PAS on the basis of the Malay race and Islamic religion, or for Datuk Seri Anwar, as UMNO has been defeated here before. And as you can see, Datuk Seri Anwar has a really good chance in winning this election, looking at his orderly campaigning, the campaigning mechanism, which is centered in all the polling centers, and the variety of the campaigning materials. And this actually gives the advantages to Datuk Seri Anwar to stand out as the Prime Minister in waiting, which is also the candidate to win this by-election. And as for Tan Sri Isa Samad, who is the independent candidate for this election, I think people in PD still remember his contributions. Although he is no longer with UMNO, I think his influence here in PD is still very, very strong, especially in the Bagan, Penang and also Lingi state constituencies. And I think his contributions and also his influence is really, really strong in these two areas. Otto.
Now, what do you know so far about the overall voter turnout today? Now, the Election Commission had predicted about 70% of the registered voters would cast their ballots, but the numbers are reportedly far lower in comparison with the voter turnout during the last general election.
All right, Otto, as we all know, in the 14th general election on May 9th, Dato' Danya Balagopal Abdullah won by a majority of 17,710 votes to defeat Dato' V.S. Morgan of Barisan Nasional and Mahfuz Roslan of PAS. And as for the voter turnout for today, I haven't received any information from the Election Commission yet, but I only had I only have the voter turnout statistics as of 4 p.m. just now, which stood at 54%, which is 16% lower than the expected voter turnout by the SPR and also the Election Commission. And compared to the last election in GE14 in PD, the voter turnout was very high, which is 83.2%. Otto.
Now, there have been reports on some clear violations of the Election Commission Offences Act on the ground, particularly involving supporters. Now, what are you hearing about the possible actions that could be taken by the Election Commission?
Yes, Otto. So for today, a report was lodged with the Election Commission on supporters of two political parties who are still campaigning outside one of the polling stations, which is situated at Sekolah Kebangsaan Teluk Kemang for Dun Bagan Pinang. And EC Chairman Azhar Azizan Harun said the EC had instructed election enforcement officers to take the necessary action to those who were involved in the, the activity today at SK Teluk Kemang. Otto.
Well, thank you very much, Farah, for those updates.